My next guests lived through that polarized political era. Martin Frost, former Democratic Congressman of Texas and former chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, and Tom Davis, former Republican Congressman from Virginia and former chair of the National Republican Congressional Committee. First question to both of you gentlemen, and I'll start with Mr. Davis. Will the government shut down again this time?
I don't know. I certainly hope not. I would hope at a minimum they can get some kind of interim and move this off with a greater debate and tie it to debt ceiling or something. But I don't know. It's a question of whether the House Republicans can respond in a united manner or not.
Congressman Frost, you give the odds at 51-49 that it will not shut down. That's correct. That's not a big margin.
No, but we've seen this movie before. We saw it in 1995. It hurt the Republicans. It embarrassed Gingrich. They ultimately lost 9 seats in 1996. I was chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee that year. I think they'll find a way to keep it open and defer this until the debt ceiling vote, and then it gets really interesting. I don't know what's going to happen then.
So, Congressman Davis, Congressman Frost there says this was damaging to Republicans politically. Do you think this would also be damaging to Republicans this time?
Well, I think it hurts everybody. Let me just start by saying I think everybody's numbers plunge. This shouldn't be about winning or losing. But at this point, the fact that the Republicans are divided, the Democrats united, it's advantaged Democrats. You saw with your interview with Senator Lee, you can't have 2 different quarterbacks. The majority leader or the speaker call the play and members decide they want to run their own play. You're never going to win against the united opposition with public opinion or legislatively with that strategy.
Congressman Frost, just to bring us back a little in time, you called then Speaker Newt Gingrich, now my CNN colleague, you called him a crybaby over the 1995 shutdown. Take us down, that trip down memory lane.
It was a very interesting situation. Bob Livingston, who was the chairman of the Appropriations Committee, came before the Rules Committee to seek a rule for a CR, same situation. That morning, Gingrich had been interviewed. He'd been to the Sperling breakfast, and he had bellyached about the fact that he'd been mistreated when he was on the delegation to Rabin's funeral in Israel, and that he was going to close down the government because Clinton had mistreated him. Well, I was on that same delegation, and so Bob Livingston comes before the Rules Committee, and I said, Bob, you know, I know the Speaker actually was treated very well because he was the only one who got to take his wife on the trip. And then I said, it just popped into my head, don't you think the Speaker is acting like a crybaby? That was on live television, C-SPAN. The next morning, the New York Daily News ran a front-page cartoon of Gingrich in a diaper with a baby bottle, and it was all downhill from there. Just one of those historic footnotes, one of those very interesting things that kind of happens. It was a colossal mistake on the part of Gingrich. The Republicans did pay for it. I think they've learned something from that. That's why I don't think they're going to close it down this time, although the debt ceiling gets very interesting.
And Congressman Davis, what's the lesson for Republicans from that shutdown in 1995?
Well, one of the problems is that most of the members that were there in 95 are no longer there. You have a whole crop of new members that don't recognize what happened. Secondly, this shutdown will be far worse than 95 because this is every agency of government. In 95, it was restricted to a few federal agencies, and the blowback was still pretty harsh. I'd remind Martin, I don't know that it had that much effect in the following election. Because the Republicans cut their losses in January. I was from a district with 60,000 federal employees, a Republican. He got reelected 2-1 in a district Clinton carried. So I think over time this stuff can be forgotten, but it's not going to be helpful, I think, to the country or to the party in the short term.
Well, and Tom, in 96, they lost 9 seats, right, and we actually had a real chance of taking the House back, but there was a last-minute Chinese money scandal involving the Clinton administration, and that cut into our ability.
But we'd so overperformed in 94.
Even with that, we picked up 9 seats.
I'm going to end this edition of I Love the 90s. Thank you so much, Congressman Frost and Tom Davis.